There is this anti-colonial experience that has become like the guidepost or the North Star, allegedly, for many of these sort of Palestinians who believe something like 10-7 is not just justified, but the winning strategy. And I think in Algiers against the French is maybe the example. They just say, you know how we're going to get these Europeans to leave our land? We're going to be so horrific that they can't take it anymore. We're just going to do the most heinous, evil stuff, women and children, no holds barred, and we will break their spirit. They will be like, this place isn't worth it. And then they'll leave. And that it, at least in some instances, apparently that worked. And that has become the inspiring strategy for the Palestinians.
That strategy worked in Algeria. Got the French to leave. You just make it horrible and they give up and they stop colonizing. It worked in 1948 with the British, 1946, 47. With the British, Israel, we tried to attack various groups of British soldiers, but innocent people died. It's nothing that most Israelis are not proud of it. But we made life very unpleasant here for the British. And they left. They went back to their country, their home country, and stopped the colonial project. And of course, that happened all over the world with the Brits and Europeans generally. They withdrew from the parts of the world that they were not indigenous to and went back to their home countries. You know, France left Algeria, England left Israel, they left India. In the 18th century, left the United States. Not so different, right? They basically said the native population, not the native population, not the indigenous, but the population that had come to live, they said, we don't want you here anymore. We don't like life with you guys anymore. And they gave up. It was too much. It wasn't worth it. The idea that that would work with the Jews of Israel is not going to happen. And, you know, you see it, it's rather extraordinary. Right now, Israel's fighting a two-front war. It's just very low heat in the north. We're fighting Hamas in the south. And in the north, we're fighting Hezbollah. And Hezbollah's leader is Nasrallah. Nasrallah is I don't know what flavor he is, but he's a fundamentalist against the state of Israel. And he says publicly all the time, Israelis, that, you know, a lot of them have two passports. They'll go back to their other country. That's true for me. I have two passports. I'm an American citizen still, and I have now an Israeli passport. So if I chose to, I could return to the United States legally with my passport and go live and work in the United States. That's not true of most Israelis. As I said, over half came from countries in the Middle East that they don't have a passport anymore with Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Morocco, and so on. They have no place to go. Most of us here have no place to go. We came here because we had no place to go. Yeah, and so the idea that life could be so miserable here that people would want to leave is an interesting strategy. It's just that for most people who live here, it's not viable. And so the analogy I would use for that strategy on October 7th and the dozens and dozens of other horrific murders of civilians by Palestinian terrorists here in Israel within our borders is the story of the sun and the wind having a debate who's stronger. You know, there's a guy walking, they're arguing, and they see a man walking below them on a road, and it's cold out, and the the wind says, "I'm stronger, watch." And he blows and blows, the wind gets stronger and stronger, and all the man does is clutch his coat tighter and tighter. Then the sun comes out from behind a cloud, and it gets warm, and the man takes off his coat. So the sun is stronger. He can get the man to take off his coat, and the wind has no chance. As the terrorism and Jew hatred around the world has ratcheted up since October 7th, most Jews around the world, and especially those here, we're clutching our coat tighter. It's not working. It makes us want to stay here all the more. It makes the importance of a Jewish homeland all the more apparent to the rest of the world. So while people are marching in Sydney and in London and in New York City saying glory to the martyrs and from the river to the sea and various other challenging slogans, every American Jew I know is thinking, maybe I should get a second passport. No Israeli saying, you know, I should move to America. It's probably better there. We feel safer here. We've got guns. We have a nuclear weapon. And we know how to defend ourselves. And we do. Elsewhere, Jews are at risk for the first time in most people's lives. So if the idea that the Jewish state's going to be destroyed by making it unpleasant to be a Jew in Israel, it's not likely to succeed. Maybe it will. I don't know. That's their choice. But it reminds me, this Hiller Bellic poem I like, John. I don't know if I've ever recited to you. It's very short. It goes like this. Pale Ebenezer thought it wrong to fight, but Roaring Bill, who killed him, thought it right. We're not pacifists here. We're not going to lay down and die. We're going to fight for our right to live in what we consider home. Maybe we're wrong, but we live here, and we'll defend our right to live here. Having said that, I hope we can create a way to coexist with our neighbors in Gaza and the West Bank. But I would point out that there are 2 million Arabs who live within the borders of Israel, who are our brothers, who are our pharmacists, who are our doctors, who drive the taxis. There are 2 million people who live here who are not Jewish, who are Arab, of the population of 9 million people who have equal rights. There's prejudice against them. It's not an easy situation for them. They are living in the Jewish homeland. They are Muslim and Christian. But we get along with them. And we pass them on the street, and we work with them. We work alongside them. And it gives me hope that there's a better world coming down the road.
If you like this clip, we've got more where that came from. Be sure to watch the full video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our new videos as they come out each week.